Today I'm going to be showing you how the 3 different types of birds we have here on the Wildwood Homestead are working for us. Okay, so we have 3 different types of birds. So we have egg layers, meat layers, and quail. And we're going to go through each one of those today and talk about how they are adding to our homestead, and they are actually working for us and doing more than just providing eggs and meat. Alright, so we got lots of clear scraps. Can take to the chickens. Go. Okay, so the little chickens have been getting out because they're smaller, and it turns out that there's a little gap at the bottom of the coop. So not only are they escaping from the coop, and we have to fix that, but they're also just small enough to get through the fence. So they've been coming in and out of the orchard fence area, but the big ones haven't been able to. And once they get big enough, they're not going to be able to either. So that's not really a panic. They're pretty good that if they see the dogs or anything, they run back inside. But the big ones have to be let out every day. And then we've started putting scraps out. So we're trying to get them used to using the area the way we want to. And we've been spreading like the kitchen scraps. I just got done putting up a lot of pairs. So I'm spreading them throughout, encouraging them to scratch and go around. So we're hoping that they're going to create great soil through here. So through not only their droppings, but they're also going to kind of compost this stuff for us too. But we have to work on the coop. We're actually going to add another section because we have so many chickens. So we haven't really... He's trying to get out. Hold on. We haven't really fixed it yet because we know we want to add the extra part. Hold on. No, it's squishing. Alright. But adding the extra space for them because we have so many chickens. And then we're just going to go ahead and fix the rest of the coop. So that's what's coming. Okay, so we've been throwing paper over here. So paper towel, any of the shavings and stuff that we have. Trying to build up one section because this needs to decompose and it needs to break down some more. And that way it's going to invite bugs in, and that's what they're going to go through. But the rest of these is stuff that they can actually eat. And we're trying to build up this really sandy area first.
Like it down.
Yeah, we want to build up this for soil and try to get all the skin. He's okay. He just likes your boots.
He pecked me.
But you got boots on, right?
No, he pecked me on the leg.
He pecked you on the leg.
And Mama. I don't appreciate that, Mr.
They have
Rooster.
food out there, so.
Mama, you mean like he damp it?
Huh?
Like he damp it?
A sand pit? Well, it's not quite a sand pit. It just needs some more, grass. All right, so we're gonna have to fill up their water. Come on, guys. I just haven't found the food yet. Go. And that's another thing we're working on is when we build this other section, we're gonna have hanging posts for the food. There is a hanging post inside of the actual coop, but they just haven't figured that out yet.
Hey.
Yeah,
You
they
better
like
back
me.
off, mister.
Alright, I need somebody to turn the water on so I can fill up their water bucket. Really think the tree needs watering.
Yeah, they've been water all night, all day.
Ellie loves water, so anytime the water hose is on, she throws a fit. Okay, so I just wanted to show y'all, we don't normally use these metal feeders right here or waters because I do not like them, and that is one reason why. They are difficult to deal with, they're difficult to clean, they are difficult to handle, and the plastic ones are a lot better. We have this type of water on every single one of our birds, the meat chickens and the quail, and those waters are awesome. They hold water for a really long time. They're easy to clean. All you have to do is stick your hand inside there and wipe it out. The rim's easy to clean. It's easy to tote around, carry around. I just really like them. The only problem is, like, if it's really hot, I do refill it twice just to make sure that they have cold water instead of hot water. But there were no plastic feeders anywhere, and they all told me, all the stores said that they were out. And the only reason that the chickens are actually out here is because everything was outgrowing where it was, and we decided to make the decision to go ahead and move them out because these can't get out of the fence. Now the little ones back there, they're going in and out of the fence all the time, because they're not quite big enough to stay to not get through the little holes. So but that's the reason we moved out here, and we had to have another feeder because the meat chickens have taken the other big feeder that usually hangs up in the coop up there or inside. Now the tomatoes are still doing good where they can't reach. I mean, we've been picking them off every other day. They're still ripening. They don't seem to bother them. So they don't know what tomatoes are yet, and that seems to be a good thing. You see we have some big ones growing and some little ones. And we also have more of my dinosaur plants that popped up right there. So I have to get out here and dig those up.
There's more dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're right over there, see?
No.
Alright, wait. Don't put water in your boots, man.
He's watching the side of him.
Okay, well, we gotta go get this water turned off. Alright, so you saw the kids helping me out, but I just wanted to give some details about this area and our plans. This will be our composting area, so we're going to have some bins set up to actually move the compost. The chickens are going to work for us. So what they're doing is they are moving the compost for us, as well as adding their nitrogen through their droppings into the compost. And we're going to start spreading everything. So food scraps go in here. I'm going to show you some different wood chip piles we're starting to put in here. It's been so hot. It's still really hot. I'm actually sweating. So, but once it gets cooler and he starts going through the trees, clearing them out, we're going to be putting the wood chips through here. So all this is going to be wood chipped along with the food scraps, along with the compost, getting everything moved around. So not only will we add nutrients here, where we can do some intercropping, some trios of trees to have like a fruit tree, a nitrogen fixer, you know, different fruit bushes through here. But we're also feeding our chickens at the same time. And, you know, we're giving them a good place to live. And we need some modifications. It's not perfect. It has to be fixed. The coop needs to be updated and fixed. The little chickens have got to grow just a little bit more to get them to stay inside of the fencing. But I really don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Once they get big enough, they're not going to be able to leave. The big chickens can't. And there's only about 3 weeks in between their ages, so it should be fine. Okay, so the meat chickens started off right here. They've gone down through there and over for about the 3rd time. And they have 1 more week left. 1 more week. So we're still moving them around. Alright, so these guys, like I said, have one more week and then we'll be processing them. So I figure it's going to be a pretty hot day, because it always is on processing day. But this is where they were, and you can see lush grass where the girls were standing. They were there. So it just makes great grass. I mean, look how nice this grass is. So good. So these chickens are working for us by making our lawn better, our grass better, and then feeding us. Okay, so the quail were finally big enough to put out here. So we had to make sure that they couldn't get through the holes, and they can't. So we got a bunch of them in there. And this is just awesome for us because it gives us a space that wasn't being used very well, and making it functional and making it where it provides, so we can get eggs off of the quail or we can get meat for the quail. And our priority this year is just meat because we have so many egg layers, so their only purpose here is for the meat. And then we will process them. Probably we are going to try to really get them down to the right date and process them. So we're going to have a freezer full of quail, and then this area allows us to have an area for the chickens when it gets really cold, because here in Mississippi where we live, it doesn't just get like snowy and freezing like that, but we do have some pretty nasty weather every once in a while. And so we can hook up a light system in here and then move all of our egg layers into this for temporary, just to make sure that they're staying warm and safe during those cold, nights. So that's what we're going to use it for. So it's going to be a dual purpose type pen, but it's going to be great for raising the quail. My mother-in-law has so many that we can get eggs from her next year, so we're not worried about keeping eggs or keeping any around for eggs. And we have 14 egg layers, so not really worried about getting quail eggs. So like I said in the blog and the vlog, so if you watch that video that I posted about the quail are not friendly birds. So they are just not like chickens. They're not sociable. They know that you're here to feed them. They know that kind of stuff is there, but they're not going to let you pet them. They are super flighty. They are more wild. So we just come in here, we do their water, we do their feed, and just like to hear them. And that's about it. This is River's little construction hat. So there they are. They see how well they blend. Like if they hunkered down and got still, you wouldn't even know that they were here in the shavings. Another way that the quail are actually helping us is we're taking all the shavings out. So the shavings that were in here, when the egg layers were in here when they were smaller, we took all those out. We dumped them over there in the orchard so that they can start to decompose even more, create that nice compost, that nice soil. Same thing here. When these are done, we'll take all the shavings out, we'll wheelbarrow them over there, start the process, put new shavings in here, and we're using that with our wood chipper. So our wood chipper for us was a great investment because of that, because we are using it for bedding, we're using it to fill in our gardens, our pathways, do that back to Eden gardening, and putting it in our orchard. So it's worked out really good for us, and hopefully you can use these 3 chicken or bird really tips in your homestead. How can you make your birds work for you? And so this is one way that you can do that, is you can have your egg layers in your orchard and creating great soil and abundance there, with also eggs as well as fruit. You can have your meat chickens that are making your pasture look really good, and you're getting the meat off of them. You can have your quail that are doing the same thing. So they're sitting there giving us meat as well as giving us nice compost to put into the orchard. So everything circles around. And I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it's working out great so far. And so keep following us if you want to see more.